Hello.
Hello.
It's Southern BS, and this is our very first broadcast from Lake
remote.
Hopatcong.
We're
yeah,
on remote.
we're on remote.
We're on remote.
We're so good.
We are.
So unfortunately, you will not hear any of Brian's commentary on the people that walk by with the clothes. I know so many of you love that.
Yeah.
Unless he starts dogging on my outfit, which he better not.
No,
so
that can't happen. So
my blue pants that. Ooh, yeah, bright blue.
Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus. It is the day of our Lord.
It is, and that's a Netherlands color, which is the orange and the blue, and that's part of the Knicks colors, and that brings us back to New York, which is...
See? It's just the circle of life.
Yes.
We are currently waiting for lunch. Peter is in the kitchen, where he should be.
Making lunch.
Just kidding. He's making lunch. And we're making pasta today.
Shocker.
I know, Sunday
dinner.
Pasta. So anyway, we have a few things to tell you about. The first one is that Brian took me and Peter to see Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Now, if you have never seen Priscilla, Queen of the Desert movie, I highly recommend it. It is a rip-roaring fun. But they have now brought this show to Broadway.
Yeah. Same movie, same story, same script, pretty much almost verbatim, but they changed up the music, but same story, everything. So.
It's wonderful.
And more importantly, they kept the same costume designer from the movie to the show.
Now, Brian will tell you a little bit about her and how she came to be on this the movie.
My dog's running around here. Sorry, I'm looking. Anyway, they made the movie in Australia back in the early 90s, around 90, and they made it for about $20, honestly. It was an independent film. And to date, I think it's one of the most popular movies or money-making movies Australia's ever done. But this girl had like a budget of like $10, and she said she did all these costumes, and if you see the movie, you'll understand they were just outrageous. And she did them all with duct tape and a staple gun.
Like any good designer.
Like any good designer, she came up with all this stuff off the top of her head. And she ended up getting nominated for an Academy Award, and she's the one that year that made her gown out of Gold American Express cards. And so, anyway, she won, and she is my dog growling.
Tosca has brought a toy over.
She's over here.
She's
She's growling. Anyway, she won the Oscar, and so they got her.
Go ahead.
Rocky Seas. And they got her to do the costumes for the show, and they are outrageous because she had more than a $20 budget this time, and it's just phenomenal.
They are absolutely amazing.
Outrageous. And so, if you see the movie and then go see the show, if you're lucky enough to see the show, you'll see what we're talking about. She is just crazy good. So it's a lot of fun. If you love disco music, go.
Definitely good on the disco. And what is the guy's name? Nick Adams?
Everybody's in love with Nick Adams, and God knows I'm not going to criticize anybody about anything. So
he's really good in the part that he does. He's the
youngest of the
and his dancing. Now, from a dancer himself,
good dancer. He's been a Broadway dancer. He's been around. He's done all the shows. God knows. It's all about opinion, and I have one. So.
And that's what this blog's all about, Brian, is to share your opinion.
I'd rather walk on my lips and talk about anybody.
That's not true. But anyway.
I digress.
So we had a great time. It was a fun night. It's right in the heart of Times Square where the TKT booth is, where you go and get the discount tickets. It is right across the street where the
All of humanity is right there.
Doubletree Hotel?
Doubletree Suites.
Yeah.
Doubletree Suites, right there on the corner, 48th.
And it's right in the bottom of that. Great theater.
Great. Go see it. Starts with a disco ball, ends with a disco ball.
It's really, really fun. And the big shoe on top of the bus is worth the whole
And if you don't know what that means, rent the movie.
And I'd recommend, so that you can see everything, get like front row of the mezzanine balcony. Yeah. That's really a great seat. That's where we were.
Yeah, and I had a friend that saw it. He sat in like the fourth row, and some of the stuff he just missed because it just happens above you, and you just miss some stuff. So sit back
some people in the balcony were too far back; they didn't see some of the stuff. So get a good prime seat. Yeah. Okay, now Brian has a little blog that he's going to tell you about, and I have actually not been to this place, but after hearing him talk about it, I definitely want to go.
So
I'm going to kind of move the focus over here,
where it should be. No. Okay, here's the thing. Now, I like my head where it is and my kneecaps where they are, so I'm going to be a little vague, but here's what you do. Get a pen and paper. You go to the internet and you go to the Google, and you Google, now the name of the restaurant is Rao's Restaurant. It's spelled R-A-O-S, restaurant.
R-A-O apostrophe S.
Apostrophe S, or is it apostrophe S on the?
Okay. It is.
It's Rao's Restaurant or Rao's, depending on how you say it. We're going to go with Rao's today. And it's an institution in New York, and it's been around. It's very famous and infamous. And you go there, and it's
Keyword
a little
infamous,
and it's on 114th and Pleasant Avenue.
That's in Harlem.
Harlem.
All right, thank you.
So we decided. A friend of mine had told me about it. She went years ago and got in, and said, "You got to go. You can't get in, but you got to go." Okay. So if you look on any list of all the hardest restaurants to get into in New York, that's number one. You cannot do it. The tables are owned. Don't understand that?
Yeah, and there's 8 tables.
10 tables. I mean, it's this tiny little place. Now, there's one in Las Vegas that you've seen.
Yeah, and that, I think, is, if I'm not mistaken, is in Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't care about that one. The one you want to go talk about is the one in New York on 114th and Pleasant. Now, it has a history that you need to read up on at the Google. And because I don't want to talk about folks. But anyway, it's a small little bitty restaurant.
Down.
And you can't get in. My friend said you can go there for drinks. So, okay, we'll go for drinks, maybe for dinner. Maybe we'll get lucky, we'll go early. So Peter and I go. We walk over about 6 o'clock. And there's these 2 guys out there, and younger guys, and they're in their sweats and their hoodies, and they're talking, "How you doing? How you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, great, great." So this gentleman comes out of the restaurant, and he's like works there. He's bald. He's a little bit bigger guy. And he's going, "How can I help you fellas?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we're here to have dinner." And he goes, "Oh, you here for the shoot?" And, of course, now, most people don't know that I won an Academy Award for playing scenery. And because at that point, I went into scenery mode, and there I'm just... And then Peter walks up to me and goes, "Oh, somebody got shot? You're shooting somebody?"
Because Peter, he's from New York.
He's from New York. He can say stuff like that. And then me, Mr. Scenery in the back. And the guy's like, "Oh, don't get me excited. Don't get me started. I was here for all that." I'm like...
You heard it. He was here for all that.
And Mr. Scenery, and then Peter's like, "No, what are you talking about? You with the group?" "No, we're not with the group. We came for dinner." "No, you got a group. We go with the group." "No, not with the group." "Well, Channel 2's coming. They're doing a shoot with the group." "No, we're not with the group." "Then you can't come in. We don't open till 7.
Now, did you catch that?
Open till 7 p.m. Now, this is...
7 p.m.
And to add to that, they are closed Saturday and Sunday.
Now, New York City restaurant.
Closed Saturday and Sunday.
Doesn't open until 7 p.m. and they're closed Saturday and Sunday.
And you can't get a table.
And you can't get a table.
So, I don't know.
I mean, that says a lot.
It says something. That,
and we're not going to say what it says.
No, because, I mean, maybe they got a washer and a dryer in the back, and maybe they're doing laundry. I don't know. But anyway, we couldn't get in. They weren't open. And we couldn't get in, couldn't get a drink. It was 6 o'clock. We're not hanging around for an hour to come back to say, "Oh, no, you with the group, you getting shot?" No. So we left. But if you come to New York, come up to Rao's, take a look at the restaurant, look at it. If you, after 7 o'clock and it's not on a weekend, go in, see if you can have a drink.
Sometimes see if you can get in some way. And they say that you can try to call and get a reservation, but it's not going to happen.
Not so much. Forget about it.
Yeah.
That's what they say. So
forget about it.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Now, if you didn't get any of these hints, then go to the Google and look it up and look at the history. And I don't live in New York anymore. I have moved to Des Moines. And
we are both in Des Moines, Iowa, doing this right now.
We have left because
we no longer live in Manhattan.
So anyway, but it's famous. Read it up. You'll see. And yeah. There you go. There you have it. Go see Rao's.
Now, before we close, I just thought that I would take the phone and
show you the lake in Des Moines. This is lovely water in
Des Moines.
Des Moines, Iowa. That's where we are in Des Moines.
Okay, it's a little windy out here. I'm going to try to do this without actually
going outside.
Okay, I'm hoping that this is coming through. But this is Lake Hopatcong, which has moved to Iowa. And we are here. This is our first weekend.
It's cold.
It's cold.
And windy.
We had a fire yesterday. It's been awesome. Wait, look. That's good lighting.
It is. Yeah, a little further back from me.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's it for this.
Go see Priscilla.
Southern BS. Yeah, definitely go see Priscilla. Go see Reyes Restaurant. And we'll chat with you soon. Bye.